Hi guys, I hope that you are all doing well today. I was off social media yesterday. Um, I had to play a little bit of catch up this morning. The internet is still abuzz with conversations regarding the disappearance and later recovery of Kylie Rodney. Now, I made a video a couple of days ago. I'm going to link it in the description. If you haven't watched it, please do so because it will be relevant to what I'm about to say. So after I made that video, I got a comment from Kylie Rodney's grandfather who asked me to back off and stated that that video had really hurt the family. So I was really upset, obviously. You know, I've only ever been contacted by family regarding one of my videos one time before, a different case, and that conversation went very differently. In that conversation, the family was actually thanking me for my sensitivity towards the victim. So obviously with grandpa saying this, I was upset and I went back and I watched the video. I had to see for myself if I thought I had said or done anything improper in that video in discussing the family. My personal opinion is that I did not. If anything, I feel like I treaded really carefully in talking about the family. You may have a different opinion. Ultimately, I took some time. I thought about it. Like I said, watched the video again, and I did answer Grandpa, and I told him that with all due respect, just like I stated in that video, I didn't feel that I would personally even want the family to watch my videos. I just feel like I have nothing in them that can serve them emotionally, being that I believe there was foul play. I'm very appreciative that Grandpa took the time to watch my video. Absolutely appreciative of that. But I don't feel that there is anything in my videos that at this point in what they're going through is anything that would be helpful for them to watch. And I did state that to him. And I also stated to him that I only want to continue to have discussions that bring justice to Kylie. These videos, mine and everybody else on YouTube or on Reddit or in Facebook groups or wherever, they are seen and read by people from everywhere, the UK, Canada, the States, everywhere. That is a lot of people, a lot of eyes, a lot of different ways of interpreting things and looking at things. And if in fact there was or is foul play involved, that's a lot of people. And really, it just takes that one person to make that one connection that can really bring things to an end. Of course, we don't know what law enforcement knows and what they're keeping close to the vest. So likely they know a whole lot. And probably nothing that we say is even news to them. They probably are just so far ahead of us in this investigation. But it doesn't hurt to have those conversations. And it's certainly I don't feel is going to hinder any kind of investigation, as long as you're not one of those people that constantly calls with tips that, are irrelevant. So with all of that said, I am going to continue to talk about it. And today, one of the things that I really want to talk about is the people closest to Kylie and just some of the strange behavior. If you look at Kylie's memorial, it is really strange to me that there's barely anything there. Being that she just celebrated a birthday, typically in these kind of situations, you see, everybody's out there for the birthday and there's balloons or there's lanterns and, especially the young people usually come together and build beautiful memorials, with flowers and little, whatever, if it's a girl or a child, little stuffed animals and all kinds of things. Kylie has a very tiny memorial, and that is strange to me. And I will tell you this, a couple of things that you see in that memorial, they're not even from people that knew Kylie. They were from people in Facebook groups that never even met her that went out there and put some of those things there. So if you remove a couple of things from there, then it's really tiny. And that's really strange to me. Also, Jagger, and I'm not accusing him by any stretch of the imagination, but he runs the Long Live Kylie Instagram page and then of course has his own personal Instagram page, and on both of those pages he continuously asks people to stop speculating, says all the new evidence is untrue, and just let his angel rest in peace. That's strange to me. That is really strange to me. I'll tell you why it's strange to me. Typically, when somebody dies, usually if somebody dies unexpectedly, but even sometimes when it would be like an expected death, like grandma's 98 and a half years old and she dies, you see this strange phenomenon around people close to the victim, or not, I mean, she wouldn't be a victim, but you know what I mean, where they can't accept the death and they want somebody to blame. So, they're like, oh, well, the hospital didn't feed grandma. They didn't, put the feeding tube in right, or this happened or that happened. And you're just like staring at them like, uh, grandma was almost 100. She died of natural causes. But they literally can't accept that. That's kind of like a natural thing that you see when people are grieving, right? They're in denial. They want somebody to be angry at. This is like the polar opposite. This is like everybody close is basically wanting everybody else to stop talking about any possibility other than it was just an accident and let her rest in peace. Let me tell you something. If there was foul play, then I would say we're doing everything that we're doing so she can rest in peace. I don't know. But does anybody else find that strange, the fact that they just don't want to even entertain the possibility of anything else? Why? So in other cases, and I'm not accusing the friends, but I'm just saying that if there was foul play and you were to think of a motive, well, two of the most common age-old motives are revenge or jealousy. And you would look very close to the victim. That's where you would start, and then you would make your way out, right? In any investigation, you start and you work your way out. So when you look at the people closest to the victim, in this case, Kylie, and I say victim allegedly, if in fact there was foul play, and you look at some of the more common motives for situations like this, start to think of the mean girl phenomenon, right? You keep hearing us say this could be a mean girls situation. Well, you look at other past cases, Missy Avila and Scarla Nisi. In those situations, look at the people who ended up being the people that actually wronged these victims. In Missy's case, her very best friend, whose name was Karen Severson, inserted herself heavily into the investigation and into the family. In fact, she even moved in with Missy's mom and family. And when people started to point their fingers at Karen, the mom of Missy was very defensive because she could not wrap her mind around the fact that one of Missy's friends could be responsible. And she had loved Karen, as her own child. When you have teenagers, their friends are around all the time. They're sitting at your table eating, they're hanging out on your couches, hanging out, listening to music, doing whatever. They become like a fixture in your house. So it's almost impossible to wrap your mind around the fact that they could betray and hurt your child, their best friend. So in Missy's case, it was Karen and another group of girls who kind of just went along with it. They didn't even have a dog in the fight. In that case, it was alleged that Karen believed that Missy was sleeping with her boyfriend. So, of course, there was a boy involved. Now, he was never connected to the actual killing, but he was allegedly Karen's motive, or one of them, along with jealousy. People say she was jealous of Missy for a variety of reasons. Missy's home life, Missy's physical looks. And in Skylar's case, we saw the same thing play out. So Sheila was the main aggressor and Rachel kind of going along with it. And Sheila had been Skylar's friend since like preschool days. And in that situation, she also heavily inserted herself into the initial stages of the investigation. She was there comforting the family, sitting in Skylar's room and comforting mom and, all of this really creepy stuff, when all along, she was the one who had done this to poor Skylar. And when schoolmates started to point fingers towards Sheila and Rachel, we saw mom and dad, Mary and Dave, just defending her up and down on Facebook and other social media platforms. Leave them alone. Like, they're her friends. Leave them alone. How dare you say these things? Because again, how can you wrap your mind around the fact that these girls that you have loved and treated like your own children have done this to your daughter? So now, when we look at the Kylie Rodney case, we have to start by looking at who really overly inserted themselves in the early stages of the investigation. Is it just friends who, were bound to find their friend and determined and just wanted to, be very helpful? Or was there more of a reason of why they wanted to be so close to the investigation? Food for thought. And why now are those same people wanting everybody to stop looking for reasons of why Kylie was found in that lake? So give it some thought. We'll talk about it more later, and I'll see you soon. Bye.